Are you a caregiver being taken advantage of by elderly parents, siblings, other family members, maybe even friends? How many times have you been told, oh, everybody else is working, we can't do it, everyone else is busy, they can't make it over to mom and dad's, or you're so much better at this than me, why can't you just take care of it? These statements make caregivers cringe, even though many times caregivers give in and show up at last minute's notice to do whatever it takes. Maybe you are currently a caregiver, or maybe you finished one caregiving project and you're starting to live your life again. All of a sudden, somebody else in your family needs help. Who gets the phone call? You do, because you have caregiving experience. Warning here. Think twice before you say yes again, especially if you haven't totally put your life back together after the first caregiving experience. Here's a secret. Anyone can learn to be a caregiver. Just because you've done this once for family doesn't mean you have to do it a second time, a third time, and a fourth time. Let someone else enjoy that caregiving experience. So stay with me while I share 6 examples of how caregivers can realize if they are being taken advantage of by other people and what you can do about it. If this is your first time on my channel, I'm Pamela D. Wilson. I'm a caregiving advocate, expert, and speaker who helps adults and their caregivers work through the health, financial, and legal aspects of caregiving, including navigating family relationships. I also serve as an expert witness for law firms and clients in matters of guardianship, conservatorship, dementia, Alzheimer's, care management, home care, and more. You can learn more about my professional experience by going below to the links or visiting my website, pameladwilson.com. Please do click the button, like this video, click the other button, follow my channel, subscribe. There are now over 900 videos here. Share these and other videos, comment, even if it's only to say thank you. Your one little comment makes a huge difference for everyone here. It helps other people find their way to my channel. So if you are a caregiver, how do you know if other people are taking advantage of you? Well, the main reason that caregivers are taken advantage of in families is because family members who are not caregivers have zero understanding and zero appreciation for the time, the effort, the physical, and the emotional stress that caregivers experience. The solution to this is to invite them to take over your caregiving job for a couple of hours, for a day, for a week, or to actually come and live with mom and dad for a week or 2 weeks. Maybe then they'll have a bigger understanding of what it is exactly you do every day. Maybe then they will stop asking more of you and instead offer to help once in a while. Number 2. Second reason why caregivers are often taken advantage of. How often do you hear, oh, everybody else is working. Everybody else in the family is busy. As if being a caregiver isn't work. When caregivers hear this, they feel devalued. Like, what, my life isn't worth anything? My time isn't worth anything? Being a caregiver can be a 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week job. It isn't as if caregivers have this life of leisure, like laying on the couch, watching television all day. Most caregivers I know are so overworked and overstressed. They barely have a moment to themselves. Some caregivers tell me they don't have time to take a shower. They would love to take a nap, but there's no time for that either. As a caregiver, when you are asked to do one more thing by somebody else, your answer to everybody else is working and can't do it is to say, well, you know what? So am I. I'm working as a caregiver. I'm sure you and everybody else can figure this out. My time is already committed. Number 3, do you have family members who are constantly in crisis or creating family drama all over the place? It's one thing to help somebody who occasionally needs a little bit of help. It's another thing to become the solution and the problem solver to someone else's ongoing crisis. Their crisis is an opportunity for them to learn. How does this happen? Well, it happens when you as the caregiver do too much. When you become that non-paid in-home caregiver for your aging parents or grandma and grandpa or somebody else. It happens when you do so much that you become assisted living for a parent. You are picking up their medications, you're organizing their medications, you're picking up groceries, you're making meals, you're cleaning their house, you're helping them bathe, helping them dress, taking them to doctor appointments. Why would they want anybody else when you're doing it all? This also happens when caregivers do so much that they're offering nursing home care. I mean, maybe you are changing catheter bags, or you're changing sheets constantly because your parents are incontinent, or you're bathing them, or you're doing blood sugars and giving insulin. When is too much, right? How does it happen? Well, caregivers jump in and they start doing it. And then time and tasks grow and grow and grow and grow. And you never say, whoops, time out, time out, time out. It's time for a different plan. I, as the caregiver, can't keep doing this. All the while, everybody in your family, oh my gosh, they are enjoying the fact that you are working full-time to take care of their needs, that you're making life easier on them, in addition to a paid job that you may already have. In these situations, who is suffering? It's the caregiver, right? Because everybody else is having their needs met. They're going on with their life. Everybody but you. Number 4. This kind of follows number 3. Your siblings go on with their lives and they don't respect your time or the fact that you have a life. They keep asking you more. They say, well, gosh, you should do this or that for mom and dad, or, I noticed this wasn't quite right. You never hear, how can I help? Wow, thanks for all you do for mom and dad. I so appreciate you. Can I give you a break? Or how might I show my appreciation? One or all of these little statements would be magic to a caregiver's ear. But siblings or other family members rarely say them. Most of the time, the person that you care for doesn't even thank you. So, if you're feeling left out, if you're feeling resentful, if you're feeling like you don't even know the person that you were before caregiving, right? If you're watching everybody else go around and they're having fun and they're enjoying their life, step on the brakes. Stop and reevaluate. How did I get here? How did I get myself into this situation? What did I agree to? And then figure out, what do you need to change? Number 5, do you have family members or friends who dismiss your feelings? If you make a little teeny comment about being tired or exhausted as a caregiver, they say, oh, can't be that bad, can't be that hard. Well, they're your parents. You're supposed to take care of them. That's the responsibility of a daughter or a son. A good daughter or a good son, as if you say no, you're going to become the bad daughter or the bad son, right? Honestly, these people have no idea, because if they had ever been caregivers, they would never, ever, ever say these things to you. Number 6, do you have family members with no personal boundaries? They show up at your house at all hours of the day. They're calling you all hours of the day, texting you all hours of the day. They constantly expect you to do things without asking, hey, are you busy? Do you have time? Did you have something else planned? Because you normally don't. You've given up your plans. You've given up your plans to be the caregiver. Do family members judge you for the things that you do? I will say, in addition to family members lacking boundaries, caregivers also lack boundaries, which is how you get yourself into these positions of being taken advantage of. Caregivers rarely say, oh no, I can't do that. I've got something else to do. Or, no, I can't do that. My time's already committed. I'm doing this. Instead, what do you say? You say, oh, sure, I'll do that. Not even knowing like when you are going to fit it into your day. So as a caregiver, start setting boundaries with family members and other people who don't have any boundaries by creating your own. Start saying no. If any relationship that you have is not reciprocal, which means give and take, 50-50, you're giving, they're giving, you're doing, they're doing, the question to ask yourself is, why am I in a relationship that's not a give and take? And maybe this is a pattern for you. Maybe you are always the giver and you're never the taker and you don't expect people to do things for you. And I don't want to say that we should live a life expecting everybody else to do things for us. We need to be independent, right? But if you are giving and giving and giving to the point that you're sick and your health is suffering and your life is suffering, that's a problem. Some people live their lives being taken advantage of by other people. It becomes a habit. And it's so difficult for caregivers to see this, to see that this isn't normal. I don't have to live like this. So many caregivers complain and they don't do anything about it. So how do you stop? The first step is to recognize that you are being taken advantage of. You're doing too much for another person. You're neglecting your own needs. Ask yourself, do I feel that I constantly have to please other people? Do I feel that I constantly have to make other people happy at the expense of my happiness? Do I feel that the requests and the needs of other people are way more important than taking care of myself? If you place yourself at the bottom of that list, that's where you'll stay. You and your life will never, ever be your priority. Think about that. I know caregivers who do say, hey, I'm in an impossible situation. I'm taking care of dad. I've been doing this for 10 years. My siblings are taking care of dad. There's just no way out. There's no money. We can't do anything. Well, yes, there is. You have to realize that you have the power to change and do something different if you make that choice. Now, the problem is that if you're in this situation, you may have spent too much time with people who constantly demand your attention, who criticize you, who make you feel like you can't solve a problem and you can't leave and you can't do anything different. Honestly, they're brainwashing you to benefit themselves. The situations and the people that we spend the most time with affect the way we think about things, affect the way we think about our future, affect our confidence level, our self-esteem, what we think we can do. If you're stuck, you're probably spending too much time with the wrong people, which means you have to get away from those people. You have to believe in yourself and your abilities. Don't be that caregiver who is so emotionally beaten down, so emotionally isolated that you don't think you can get out. This is not the way life is supposed to be. Your life is not solely to serve other people and neglect yourself. It's not. Life is not only about sacrifice. It's about owning your power and taking responsibility for yourself and feeling strong instead of weak or intimidated by other people. It's also about not constantly being taken advantage of by other people, especially if you are a caregiver. You can help others, certainly you can, and you should within normal limits. within boundaries and within reciprocal relationships where people are giving and taking, not just you giving, giving, giving. So the easiest way to think about this and figure out what to do is to look at your relationships. Are your relationships reciprocal? Look at them. Like, are they all 50-50? Or are you giving more than the other person? Does that relationship mean more to you than the other person? Now, I'll say that, reciprocity 50-50 is not always possible, especially if you're taking care of somebody who's really sick or they have dementia and they can't give back. But the person who needs care can give back in different ways. They can say, oh, thank you. They can fill your gas tank up if you're running around town taking them to doctor appointments and picking up groceries and picking up prescriptions. Maybe they occasionally buy you lunch. There are small things that people can do to show appreciation and thanks. How many of you remember paper thank you cards? If you go to the grocery store, there's like this whole aisle of greeting cards, right? Birthday cards, anniversary cards, thank you cards. Honestly, you don't even have to really buy a thank you card at the store. You could just take a piece of paper and fold it up and write thank you and put some nice notes in there and give it to somebody and show your appreciation. Thank yous don't always have to cost money. Ask yourself, are you an adult child who had a parent who was not the best parent when you were growing up? Maybe they had mental health problems or substance abuse problems. Maybe you had to grow up very quickly and do things for yourself and take care of other people. Or maybe your parents held you to unreasonable expectations. If so, you may be in what I call parent-pleasing mode, even if you are an adult, where you keep doing and doing and doing, and you're hoping that mom and dad, you're just hoping that one day they're going to say thank you, and one day they're going to appreciate what you do. So you keep working harder and harder and harder to get attention from them, to get approval. Well, sometimes that approval is never going to come. And there's a point where you have to realize that, where you have to back off and say, you know what, I'm giving, and, this parent that I love that doesn't love me, or maybe this parent that I don't even like but I feel responsible for, right, is not appreciating me. You have to stop and change the dynamic of that relationship. Again, how do you do it? You begin saying no to the next request and the next request and the next request. You say, I've decided that I'm doing too much. You've got to figure out how to help yourself more or find other people to help you. And if you can't, I'll give you some phone numbers to call. You can call and see if you can hire a caregiver or move into a care community or do something else. Work yourself out of these situations that you have gotten yourself into, where you feel like you're being taken advantage, where these situations are harmful to your well-being. Number 2 is for you to stop being the fixer, the problem solver that everybody rushes to when there's an emergency. Like that caregiver who finished a caregiving project and going on with their life, but somebody else over here, like aunt, sister, cousin, they're sick. Everybody's coming to you to say, hey, can you take care of this person? We're working, we're busy. It's like, no. I already did that. I'm living my life. I'm sure you all can figure this out. Stop jumping in to rescue other people. Help people help themselves instead. Number 3, stop other people to tell you that your time has no value. Time has value. Minutes have value. Your time is equally as important as everyone else. When somebody asks for something, say, I don't have time for that. I have an appointment. I've got something else to do. I'm sure you can figure it out. I'm sure you can find somebody to help you. I just can't do it. Number 4, maybe you're a caregiver who is temporarily out of work. And maybe it was because you took time off to be a caregiver, or maybe, you had a job change or you lost your job, right? Well, as you know, finding a job is a job. It's not easy these days. It's It's not the days of, you go and you fill out an application and you get a job. A lot of this stuff is on the internet. You got to look for jobs in different ways today. So don't let somebody else in your family say, hey, mom or dad needs this, or Aunt Sally needs this, or grandma and grandpa needs this, and everybody else is working and can't do this. Can you do it? The answer is no. Y'all are working and getting paid. I'm working at finding a job. I don't have income. My job is finding a job. Why don't you all take a day of vacation? Take a personal day. Take a week of family leave. I'm sure you all can figure it out. I have to get a job. I got to get busy with my life. Number 5, if you have overextended yourself to the degree that you are that non-paid in-home caregiver, or you are assisted living or nursing home care for a loved one, it's okay to say, you know what? I've been doing this for 6 months, 12 months, a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. It's time for a change. Let's look at hiring in-home care, or moving you to an assisted living, or looking at a nursing home. And if there's no money, let's get a Medicaid application going, because that can take a few months. That'll give us time to adjust to the situation. Then you make a plan to work it out. You get the care for your loved ones, and you go on with your life. Now, a lot of times what happens is, if you've been caregiving for a while and you say you're going to make a change and you don't do it, your parents or your siblings may not take you seriously. You got to get serious. Have to make a plan, set a timeline, set an end date, and make it happen. Caregivers honestly are taken advantage of because they want to be helpful, because they say yes all the time. So instead of constantly helping other people, start helping yourself. There's nothing wrong with doing things for yourself and helping yourself. You'd be surprised how good you feel when you do that, how you feel this sense of accomplishment. You must start doing for yourself. Because if you don't do for yourself and you do want to help other people, you're not going to be able to, right? When you have your life together, everything will just flow so much easier. Don't live your life to help other people at the expense of your own life, at the expense of your health, your career, your job, your marriage, your family, your friendships, your well-being. Don't do that. If you have a hard time saying, well, am I being taken advantage of, or is this just normal? Get out a piece of paper. Write down all the people in your life. What do you do for them? What do they do for you? What are you getting out of this relationship? And again, I don't want you to think that you have to get things out of a relationship, but you have to be realistic. Like, hey, is this a friend that, I call and, when I'm feeling down, they boost me up. And when that friend's down, do they call and I boost them up? I mean, it's kind of like this 50-50 relationship, right? So write all that stuff down on a piece of paper. And if it's lopsided, then maybe your life is being impacted by the needs and requests of other people versus what you're doing for yourself. You can also start keeping a journal of what I did for myself today, what I did for myself this week, what I did for myself this month. If that piece of paper is blank, it's a problem. Caregivers, you are strong people. I know you're strong because you're strong for other people instead of yourself. So start being strong for yourself. Build up your confidence levels. Believe in yourself. Don't let the people you hang around with tell you that you can't do things, especially if they are dragging you down. Do what it takes to take care of yourself and to figure out what it takes to take care of yourself. Some caregivers, honestly, after doing so much for other people, they have no idea. Let other people start to take care of themselves. Put your energy and your thoughts into your life and positive activities and your dreams and your hopes and how you're going to get there. Stop allowing other people's requests to take you off track, to emotionally drain you, to exhaust you physically. Don't allow other people to take away your self-esteem or the fact that you should feel good about yourself. Also find ways to motivate and inspire yourself so that you can rebalance these relationships from being one-sided to being two-sided. Do one thing for yourself every day, just one little thing. Just start there. And you will see how good that feels. And you'll start to make progress. And then you'll think, wow, doing that felt really good. I want to do something else that's good for me. And then another thing that's good for me. And then you'll start planning your life again, and it won't be so lopsided. It is so easy for all of us, whether we're caregivers or not, to get imbalanced in our work and our personal life and our work and our relationships and other things, right? It's really hard to get that back on track once we've gone off track. It takes work, but it's work well worth the effort. You'll be surprised at how you can change your life and how you can live a happy life and meet your goals and have enjoyment in being with friends and being with loved ones and still do a little bit over here to help other people, just not too much. I thank you all for being here. I'm Pamela D. Wilson. I'm a caregiving expert, advocate, and speaker. More information about me and ways to schedule a one-on-one consultation are below this video. You can also go to my website, PamelaDWilson.com, click on the Services tab, scroll down to Elder Care Consultant, and fill out the form there to contact me. Have a fabulous day. Thanks for being here. I'll see you all again soon in another video.